Okay, we're joined by Houston head coach Kelvin Sampson. Coach, if we could just get your initial thoughts on the game, then we'll open up to questions, please.
Tournament basketball, I don't think there was anything that surprised me first half. I mean, it's just unexpected. Shot clock was running down to 1 second. And, I thought the kid had hit the top of the backboard with the ball, and somehow it ricocheted off the backboard and went in. They had some tough shots, but our defense was, we started playing Cougar defense second half, rebounding. We held them to 29% second half. We had rebounded by 16 and plus 16 on the boards, and then we had 21 assists. 21 assists on 27 made baskets, and that a lot to do with DeJon's unselfishness and point guard play. I didn't think he was the way I wanted him to play to start the game, but it just tells you what a great kid he is that no matter what I say it to him, he always takes it the right way. And he cares more about winning. When your best players care more about winning than statistics, your team always has a chance to be good. So proud of the game. Second half, first half is what it was. Don't overevaluate that stuff. Just move on to the game tomorrow, regardless of who we play.
Okay, we'll open up to questions, please. You can use the raise hand feature in Zoom or just shoot me a note in the chat. We'll begin with Joseph Duarte from the Houston Chronicle, please.
Kelvin, you mentioned DeJon and not interested in stats, but he did finish with a triple-double today, and I remember
I am interested in that. That's special. That's special, and that's not an easy team to get it against because they don't let you look good. You say, well, you didn't look very good last night. Well, nobody looks great against Tulane. I mean, they just have a way of muddying the game up. They play that zone. Their guards are really good, but best player on that floor tonight, without a doubt, was DeJon Jarreau. He did a great job guarding Forbes. Forbes had 9 points, but he took 12 shots. That's a lot. It was DeJon's defense. 10 defensive rebounds and 10 assists. Just complete guard. There's stars have to align. The styles have to click. We wanted to space them, and we went small. We tried to get into the gaps. And DeJon's so unselfish. I think all of Quentin's 3 balls the first, second half. Most of them were from DeJon. Marcus, I know Justin threw him another one, but just really proud of that. That's a big deal. I've seen James. I've sat on the bench and watched James Harden get a ton of them, and I never took his for granted. But if I'm not mistaken, I don't think I've ever had a player get a triple-double. I may be mistaken. By saying that, I'm sure somebody will say, well, don't forget about so-and-so. Mark Hendrickson at Washington State, maybe. Hollis, no. Eric Gordon, no. I mean, I have some really, really good players, but if I only had one, and if it was my first one, I'm really glad it was DeJon because he deserved it.
Well, what I was going to also add, Kelvin, was that a few months ago, I remember you had a comment where you were like, if there was anybody on this team that was capable, it was DeJon. A year ago, would you maybe thought that just based off of how he's developed, especially with the distribution part, the assist, really the unselfish type of play?
Well, I always knew he was capable. And when DeJon was running back to the locker room, he grabbed me and said, we've talked about that so much. And we have. I always told him he was going to get a triple-double before he left here because he could. We've got some guys on our team that can get a double-double or maybe a single double. But there's only one player on our team that can get a triple-double. And the fact that it happens very, very seldom in college tells you how special the guys are that do get them. DeJon's a special player. He is a special player. And I'm so happy for him because that's going to be a memory and something he can say that not a lot of people can say. There's been a lot of great players that's come close, but DeJon's unselfishness, his toughness, those are the things that show in triple doubles, unselfishness and toughness. He was 5 for 10, 5 for 5 from the free throw line, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to witness that. And I loved the way his teammates reacted to him. They were genuinely thrilled for him, as was the coaches and staff.
We'll go next to Chris Baldwin, please, Paper City Magazine.
Coach, you talked about what do you say to DeJon early? You talked about him responding well, and how key is his passing to sort of getting Marcus going too?
Yeah, I really don't have to say anything to DeJon about that stuff. He's smart. He has an innate feel for that. I don't know if he would ever. I mean, I'm sure right now he doesn't see coaching in his future, but DeJon could be an outstanding coach. He's got a great feel for the game. He just knows how to play. He's a natural leader. The only time I ever see DeJon raise his voice at his teammates is when they don't shoot a ball he thought they were open. He threw some balls to our guy. A lot of the balls he threw to our guys Sunday against Memphis, Tremont especially in the corner. Tremont's one of those kids sometimes that will pick 4-leaf clovers and count them when he's in right field during a Little League game. I think that's what he was doing, DeJon throwing the ball. But DeJon's smart. He's got a good feel for the game. And he's learned how to play basketball under control. Very rarely does he get out of control. He's had games where he's had 3 or 4 charges in a game multiple times. I think you can count on one hand how many he's had the entire year, and that's a credit to him. He's really matured, and can't tell you how thrilled I am. But we've got good players. We've got a good team, but no doubt our most valuable player right now is DeJon.
We'll take the next one from Mark Berman, Fox 26, please.
Kelvin, I have a couple of questions. One, how happy are you to see DeJon get some national love? He was on ESPN and they were interviewing him after the game and they were asking about the triple-double. How happy did you see him get that kind of attention?
Well, believe it or not, I didn't see it. So I heard it. I was actually in the locker room with the team there, Burmeister.
Were you dancing again tonight?
No, nothing to dance about. Best thing about this game was, but as far as national love, it's about time. Most of the people that do our games spend more time talking about other teams and how great other conferences are. So I guess any love we get is a positive.
One other thing, I know you've talked about it a lot, but you dominated on the boards, 44-28. How good was it to see what you were doing on the rebounding tonight?
We're #1 offensive rebounding team in America. I think North Carolina is #2. So that's just what we expect.
Okay, Sampsonister.
Or Meister.
Take the next one from Chris Gardner, Houston Roundball Review, please.
Coach, you used had a 4-guard lineup with Fabian. What were your thoughts on how that looked?
Yeah, just spaced them. That's one of the reasons why DeJon kept getting in the paint. Is very similar to what Cincinnati did to us a few years ago when we put Corey and Armani in the corners. It opened up driving lanes down the middle of the floor. If you're not going to help out, then we'll space them there in the corners anyway. So we put Cam and Quentin in the corners and rolled our big. And when you have a guy like DeJon, we left a lot of points on the board off the roll. Our bigs were just okay tonight. But we attacked them where we felt like we could hurt them. And putting the one big we had and uses him as a diver, not a roller, a diver. He doesn't have to roll. He just got to dive to the front of the rim and let DeJon figure it out. That's why DeJon kept dishing the ball off to the big, because there's nobody to help. And that was made our decision easy.
Okay, we'll go back to Joseph Duarte, please.
Kelvin, outside the game, I was wondering if I could get your thoughts. In the last few days, Duke, Virginia, and Kansas have all had situations where they have been forced to
And
out-
North Carolina A&T.
and North Carolina A&T.
Don't forget
I
the
was
HBCU.
just curious at this point, your thoughts on just conference tournaments going on and sort of the risk factor of what this could do for, the NCAA tournament. If you, I'm not sure what the protocol is on those seven consecutive tests, and, sort of, not having maybe any room between the start of the tournament and the conference tournaments to work through things if you're one of those
Yeah,
teams.
yeah, no, it's a great question, Joseph, and it is a concern. We got up this morning and we met in our meal room in the hotel at 7:50 to go COVID test. And then we came back and didn't really eat breakfast until almost mid-morning. And then that's when I found out about, was it Kansas, Texas, I think was the last one, right? It's scary. It's scary. But I don't think we can. And I had former coaches, no current coach, but I had former coaches, good friends of mine, that text me and said, that's why you should just go to Indianapolis right now. Why put it in jeopardy? And they make a lot of sense. But I don't know that we can just live our life in fear. We have to live our life. We've got a chance to win a game today. We did. Our kids like looking at the board. We're 22-3, and then we've got a game tomorrow, and we're going to try our hardest to be 23-3. And when you're in competition, for me to say we're not going to play because of that, what happens? What would that look like if we don't have 7 consecutive negatives next week? We just lost an opportunity to win a championship or win some games or play more games. And, everybody is a separate entity when it comes to COVID because they all tell their story, but we all got a story. From December 2nd or 3rd to January 2nd or 3rd, we were on pause. Whoever's the latest, you tend to think of them, but everybody's had it. And the ones that's had it now is you feel the worst for them because of the timing of it. Virginia wins a nail biter at the buzzer. I can't remember who they were playing, but they won a game at the buzzer the other day. And you knew that made their kids feel good about the next game. And I have no idea who I haven't really followed that conference, but they beat somebody at the buzzer, and now their kids are excited about Georgia, getting ready to play Georgia Tech. And I'm sure they said, that's the game we might have a chance to win. And then all of a sudden they get up and think about scouting report, treatment, shoot around, and the next thing you know, we're not playing. It's tough.
Do you still believe that having that outbreak in December, I think as you put it, was a blessing in disguise in terms of your guys sort of having, I don't know if there's an immunity factor, or, do you still feel like, when you got it and maybe got it out of the way, that was.
I don't know if the disguise part's pretty good. I'm not sure if it's a blessing.
Right.
Because we had some kids that struggled with it for a long time. I would say if I had a choice to have it early or late, you always would rather have it. If you're going to get it early. I don't know what the CDC new protocols are as far as, I remember if you were contact trace, you had to sit out 14 days. We had kids that missed 14 days of practice. So I don't know what Virginia's situation is. I know Kansas, same thing, right? Didn't Kansas have a positive test? So can they play an NCAA tournament? Because that's not 10 days. Is it 7 days now? So I don't know what the situation is. Right. I just hope and pray that our kids can play an NCAA tournament because they've worked so hard to put in themselves in that position. Same with North Carolina A&T. I hope North Carolina A&T gets an opportunity to play.
Okay, we'll take the final question again for Chris Baldwin, please.
Coach, how important was it to see Marcus shooting like that? And did you say anything to him during the stretch where maybe he wasn't shooting like he, expects to himself?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about put a little bit extra work in. When we struggle, our solution is usually to work harder. But Marcus is too good a shooter for it to last forever. Steph Curry's had stretch of numbers worse than better shooters than Marcus that struggled way worse than him. That's part of being a shooter. It's like Hall of Fame hitters: Henry Aaron, Barry Bonds, Willie Mays, Mike Schmidt. I can go down. A lot of those guys went 2 for 25 skids. Sure you do, because you care about them and you know their value. But at the same time, you just have to live through it. Marcus had a stretch there, and because he had a good game, doesn't guarantee he's going to have another good game. But our goal every play as a team and win. And that's why you respect our kids so much. They care more about winning than they do their statistics. Good guys. You guys be safe.
Thank you, Kelvin.
Thank you, Coach. Okay, we welcome in DeJon Jarreau. DeJon, we'll take questions for DeJon again. Just raise your hand in the chat and we'll go right to those. We'll start with Mark Berman, please.
DeJon, we watched you on ESPN. You heard about your stat line and everything. How special? I know you're singularly focused on winning this tournament, but how special is it for you to get this first triple double for UH in 28 years?
Oh man, that's special. Like Coach said, it's some we always talk about. I always say, he think I'm very capable of it. Even my coaches and my teammates. That's just special. I'm very grateful. During the game, they kept reminding me, you need 2 rebounds. You need this, you need that. And, I'm just grateful for that. They happy for me. And like I said, that's special.
What do you think about the way y'all got separation in the second half and put it away?
We just started to play Cougar basketball. We came out a little slow. They just come off a game, had a lot of confidence. Credit to them. They came out ready. And once we just, got home to, what we do, the game changed. We started offensive rebounding, we started getting stops. I don't remember how many kills we had, but, we had a couple kills, and we call kills 3 stops in a row. And, we just got home to how we play basketball, Cougar basketball.
Thank you.
We'll take the next one from Joseph Duarte, please.
Hey, DeJon. I'm curious, you're kind of the evolution of your game since you've been here and sort of putting things together. Is a line like tonight kind of put into perspective what you've accomplished, maybe what you've learned, when you've gotten here, maybe being the distributor, being more of a rebounder, that kind of stuff?
Not really, because coming in, I already loved passing the ball, getting my teammates shots. And I always rebounded at a okay level, but when I got here, coach kind of emphasized it more, and was telling me how much he think I can do it, how good he think I am at rebounding, or doing this or that. And just being here, my maturity and just letting the game come to me, slowing down, listen to my coaches, working hard, and it's just a credit to all that. And like I said, I'm grateful for it.
We'll take the next one from Chris Baldwin, please.
Hey, DeJon, how much pride do you take in setting up, Marcus and Quentin for open shots? And how did you sort of, develop that, knowing, where the right spots are to get them the ball?
Like I said, I always love seeing my teammates score, love seeing them score. As it made me feel like I scored. So that come natural, but learning these spots, that just come from practice. We've been in that every day, going against each other, and there's a lot of different drills we do, and just 5-on-5 work. Whenever I pass it to them, I notice they'll hit more here, they'll miss here, learning where they need the ball before they shoot, things like that. And I think we got that down pack now. And when I pass the ball and I think it's a good shot, I'm even yelling shoot it. So I think that gives them confidence as well, alongside their work. So, credit to that.
The coach was saying you only yell at your teammates when they don't shoot, when you pass them.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
How
just,
did that sort of?
that's just another credit of me, wanting to see them score, wanting to see them succeed as well. And it's not really not being selfish. I would like an assist as well. So and that's another formula for us to win. When our scores are scoring, and I'm distributing. Our rebounders are rebounding, and everybody just playing a role.
Okay, time for about two more. We'll go to Dan Tortora first, and then finish with Andy Yanez. Go ahead, Dan.
DeJon, just what you can say about what should the country know about Houston basketball at this point?
That we play hard, exciting to watch, play defense, we rebound, and we make shots. It make it a lot harder to beat us. So we're an exciting team, play with a lot of energy, a lot of effort. We have a lot of grit to our game, and like I said, you're gonna see a team that play hard, and a lot of people love seeing teams that play hard. So we hang our hats on that.
Okay, we'll take the last one from Andy Yanez, please. Andy, we're not getting your audio there.
Can.
Yeah, still can't hear Andy. So I'm sorry. We have to go. We'll go to Mark Berman then for the last one. Sorry, Andy.
Well,
I'm sure glad you came to me. DeJon just got off the phone with Bo Outlaw. I wanted him to tell what would he like to say to you, since you've got the first triple-double since he did it 28 years ago. And he said that congratulations. It's very hard to get a triple-double anywhere, but in college, it's really impressive. What does that mean, you coming from the guy who did it 28 years ago?
Man, I appreciate you. I really appreciate that. Coach Bilal always reminded me about him, the last one that got it. Bo Outlaw got this triple-double 28 years ago. You're capable of doing it. If you get it, you'll be the first one to get it in 28 years, things like that. And, they always kind of remind me because they always thought I was capable. And I just want to tell him I appreciate you. And I'm happy I was the next one to do it alongside you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
DeJon, thanks for giving us a few minutes.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir, Jeff.
Houston, I thought the second half they really just came out and they just wore us down. Was really proud of our kids. I thought we hung in there. First 5 minutes of the second half, we couldn't make any shots, and I thought their physicality, kind of wore us down, and they kind of broke the game wide open. But I couldn't be more proud of a group of kids that I've been able to coach this year. Just a few months ago, we took over a program that was really struggling, and we came in here, we won a conference tournament game, and we've gotten better. And so the future is bright for these kids, and I'm just really proud of them. I'm really proud of them. But I do want to give Houston is in my opinion one of the top 5 teams in the country. I think it's a Final Four team, and we battled that. We battled them, and so we don't have enough right now, but we will one day, that we'll be able to compete at the top of this level. But right now, we can compete with anyone in this league, and that's what I wanted to make sure that our kids understood today.
Okay, we'll go right into questions, please. We can start with Mark Berman, please.
I can't hear anything.
Okay, nope, sorry. Yep. We'll go to Joseph Duarte then, Houston Chronicle.
Hey, good evening, Ron. I'm just curious your thoughts on what DeJon Jarreau did tonight. I mean, he sort of was all over the place. Just kind of what you thought of his performance.
Yeah, even I thought when Houston was struggling early, he made every single play to kind of keep them around until they can, kind of blow the game open. But he played like an All-American today. The kid was really, really special. If he can play this way, I think they're hard to beat. Because what it does is allows them to, to score. Defensively, they're always going to be there. But when he can play like that, man, it gets them to another level.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go next to Gary Smith from The Advocate.
Hi, Ron. Was that cramps that Jaylen Forbes had during the second half, and is that just a function of how many minutes guys, your key guys have to play on a nightly basis coming back the next day.
Yeah, and I apologize to him, man. I rode him hard this year, man. As you know, I mean, he played so many minutes, and the physicality for him. I mean, he gave me everything he had. I mean, from cramps to his hip, his back, and he's a kid. He's probably going to take 5-6 weeks off just to heal his body back up. But we're limited, so when he can't score, it really hurts us. But we kind of hung in there without him scoring. We didn't get a big scoring game from him last time, but again, I just think over the season, the toll that he has taken and the minutes that he's played, it just kind of caught up to him. And Houston's such a good defensive team that it just made everything hard for him.
You were right in there at halftime, but I don't think Houston had a turnover, and I think you only had one, something like that on the stats. Was that also a function of not having quite the same energy, or is that just what was that? Because it was a pretty good first half.
Yeah, I thought the first 5 minutes in the second half, we actually got stops, and I thought they were struggling, but we couldn't. We had some open looks, and we didn't make those shots. And so we went in that, as we can have those scoring droughts, and we had that scoring drought coming out of the second half, and then I just. And I was going to use a timeout, and then we kind of got a basket. And so I was really concerned about that. But I thought if we could have just made some shots early, it was a 4-point game. And because we went five straight stops, I mean, and they didn't score, but we just couldn't get over the hump and score. And eventually they're going to make baskets.
We'll go to the next one from Chris Baldwin, please.
Coach, does this Houston team remind you of any other team you faced over the years? You've obviously had a lot of experience, tournament and otherwise.
I've seen really good teams, and I know teams that know how to win in a tournament, and they got the makeup of teams that can really win in a tournament. And why I say that is because regardless of what you do, they could defend. And that's why Jarreau, what he did today was probably their next step. Houston gets in trouble when they have these big lulls in their offense. And when he can play like that, man, if they can get that from him consistently, because Sasser and those guys, they'll have their off nights, especially when you get in a tournament. But just defensively, they can just really wear you out there. But I thought Jarreau, if he could keep having a tournament like this right now, man, it's whether it's Baylor, Gonzaga, whoever it might be, they will really struggle with this Houston team.
We'll go to Dan Tortora for the next one, please.
Coach, a two-parter, just what you can say coaching through this pandemic has taught you. And then secondly, just what you could say about being in this conference for a little bit, besides Houston, top to bottom, what you've taken away from the American.
Well, I love coaching in this league. I thought this year was the hardest thing I've ever had to go through. And I mentioned this yesterday, man. When I recruited these kids, I entrusted the parents to say, hey, I would take care of their children and I'll make sure they were okay. And that was a hard thing. I've been on record by saying I didn't think we should play this year, and I stand by that only in the sense that, I had somebody else's children that I was concerned about. And so, but with that said, I thought our kids handled it great. I took over a program thinking, not knowing it, I had to try to build it during a pandemic. And I thought we've gotten better. I think that the days of, just 2 years ago, this program didn't even win a game. And couldn't compete in this league. And people, when I first got here, everyone said, hey, you guys, Tulane can't compete in this league. Well, I don't think anyone thinks we can't compete in this league anymore. We can do that. So we've gotten better. We play freshmen and sophomores all year. These kids are going to grow up. I like this league, but I know we can compete in this league. And again, not that we're trying to catch Houston right now. And it took Houston to get in this position 5, 6, 7 years. It wasn't like they overnight, that's all of a sudden that happened. So I look at the blueprint that what Coach did in Houston, that's the same blueprint we're trying to get down here. And just keep building and see what happens. But I do know now, and I think everybody in this league and on this call also should know that Tulane can compete in this league right now.
Two more. We'll go to Chris Gardner and then Gary Smith, please.
Coach, what is your overall take on the league? What do you think the league's strengths are?
Well, I think it's coaching. I think there's some great coaches in this league, man. I mean, there's some coaches that have done a lot of great things, and I think that's the first part. They're great coaches. And so, again, it's hard because I think that whatever I think right now doesn't matter because I think the pandemic we didn't really show what we can do in this league. If you're telling me that we can only have 2 teams in our league and the Missouri Valley can have 2, I think that's crazy because I tell you what, let the Missouri Valley play and play the bottom of our league and the middle of our league and see how good that league is. I think we deserve more than 2 teams. I think that we should have 3 or 4 easily every year in this league. I mean, there's some talented teams in this league. There are pros in this league. There are great coaches in this league. And so the problem is the pandemic because of what happened. But if we had played our regular season, there's no question that in my mind, there's 4 teams that should be playing in the NCAA tournament from this conference.
We'll take the last one from Gary Smith, please.
Yeah, Ron, with no seniors on the roster, you obviously have a foundation in place. What do you think are the key areas that you need to add going into next year?
Well, we have to improve our shooting. You know, as you know, Gary, that was our offense wasn't what I'm used to. So we have to improve our shooting, and the kids that we've got to get better. I think a lot of times coaches get to the point where they start talking worried about recruiting, but I want to worry about getting the kids in my program better. And so as a coach, my job is to get these kids better. And if I get them better, then we're going to be good. And we'll add some pieces. You know, we got to get some shooting and we want to help with our rebounding. But I think that we got the pieces in this program. So me and my staff and myself, we got to get these kids in our program better. And, you know, the way the kids transfer running out, I mean, hell, you almost got to re-recruit the kids in your program. I just told Forbes how much I loved him, so nobody will take it from me. So, hey, guys, I got a plane. I got to catch. Thank you for everything. You guys have been great to us and great to me. I appreciate you guys, and be safe with the rest of this pandemic, okay?
Thanks, Ron.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for your time this week. Appreciate it.